73% of the workers at Volkswagen's factory in America that makes the electric ID4, well, they've voted to unionize. Whether or not it is, well, the best decision remains to be seen. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. It's great to see you. It's very interesting, guys, to see what's happened here. Is there a bit of a monopoly now with the UAW, or the all-powerful UAW now, and it's targeting Mercedes-Benz? Well, there will be a vote as well. Many automakers look like they possibly will join the UAW, along with General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. By the way, I should point out General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, they're pretty angry at the moment. But anyway, 2,628 workers voted in favor, 985 opposed, and this was after two failed attempts in the past decade to organize Volkswagen's plant. Mercedes workers in Alabama will vote next. Workers at Volkswagen's Chattanooga plant in Tennessee clearly voted overwhelmingly to join the union. The UAW claimed a pretty major victory here. This victory comes after two failed attempts over the past decade to organize the Chattanooga plant and give Volkswagen its first UAW represented facility in the US since closing its Westmoreland assembly plant back in 1988. Now, I don't know if there's any kind of coincidence here with that being a union factory that had to shut down. Maybe none at all, not sure. Either way though, union supporters pushed for the vote after the UAW ratified historically rich contracts with the Detroit Three, making the case that Volkswagen workers would get more pay, better pay, benefits, and job security. It's been quite a journey getting here. I'm just overjoyed, said Kelsey Smith, a 48-year-old Volkswagen worker who started at the plant last year. People were just ready. Based off what went on up north, people had something to look for. The time was right. The energy was right. We had a great support system. Now, what do you guys think? Was the time right? Should Volkswagen have joined the union? Could this put their production numbers in jeopardy? Will Volkswagen possibly be in a situation like Ford and General Motors and Stellantis are in, where they can't profit off EVs? Maybe. I don't know. Here's what another worker said. We saw the big contract that UAW's workers won at the Detroit Three, and that got everybody talking, said Zachary Costello, a trainer in Volkswagen's proficiency room. That's a bit concerning. We saw the big contract. You see the pay, the benefits, the rights that UAW members have on the job, and you see how that would change your life. That's why we voted overwhelmingly for the union. I am a bit surprised to hear that. I mean, if the pay is that much of a difference that it's a life changer, it must be a pretty big difference. Volkswagen said in a statement, "We will await certification of the results by the NLRB. Volkswagen thanks its Chattanooga workers for voting in this election. However, Volkswagen have now decided to exit the United States and will no longer be selling cars in North America." I'm joking. I don't think that's going to happen. Some people think it could, but I don't think it will. The election was widely seen as a barometer for the union's ability to succeed in its $40 million effort. Literally $40 million they're spending in order to unionize other auto manufacturers in America. They want to unionize everyone. They've targeted 13 automakers, but particularly they've targeted Tesla and Mercedes-Benz. It gives the UAW a long-sought foothold in the South and could become a springboard for other victories as it attempts to reverse its declining membership, which last year fell to its lowest level since 2009. "I think we're going to win a lot," said UAW President Shawn Fain. "Once you see the first domino fall, you're going to see a lot more follow." The union's next test will come in less than a month. Workers at Mercedes-Benz's assembly plant in Alabama will hold an election from the 13th to the 17th of May. So this is a losing streak that has been snapped. I think we can see why. I mean, workers have already told you why. It's about the increase in salary. The UAW's victory followed two previous defeats in Chattanooga at the same plant. In 2014, Volkswagen workers voted against UAW representation by a small margin. In 2019, amid the worst corruption scandal in the UAW's history, and to be honest, one of the worst corruption scandals in the history of unions worldwide, the election was even tighter. but workers again rejected a bid to unionize. Labour experts had described Chattanooga in this most recent push as the low-hanging fruit for the UAW, given the close results in the past. In other words, this could have been the UAW's easiest, or its most likely factory to secede to the union. The UAW used lessons from those past failures, as well as a revamped worker-led organising strategy to secure the victory. It was able to overcome resistance from politicians, including Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, a Republican who argued that a union representing workers at the Volkswagen plant would be a big mistake. Lee was one of 6 governors in the South who publicly opposed the unionization campaigns in a statement recently. President Joe Biden, in a statement released by the White House, congratulated the Volkswagen workers and chided the Republican governors for their opposition. This is just politics, though I'm not really sure that Joe Biden could care either way, to be honest. Together, these union wins have helped raise wages and demonstrate once again that the middle class built America, and that unions are still building and expanding the middle class for all workers, said the statement. Do you guys agree? Are unions actually expanding the middle class? What are your thoughts? 6 Republican governors wrote a letter attempting to influence workers' votes by falsely claiming that a successful vote would jeopardize jobs in their states. That is possible. I don't think that's false. I think that is possible. It's happened in Australia. It's happened in quite a few countries where unit contracts did become prohibitively expensive, and therefore manufacturing of automobiles did end. Let me be clear to the Republican governors that try to undermine this vote. There is nothing to fear from American workers using their voice and their legal right to form a union if they so choose. Now, I should point out that Ford and General Motors did, after the signing of these new agreements with the union, they did pause a lot of their electric car plans. They paused a lot of their production plans. And they did do one other thing. They fired thousands of staff after signing these contracts. It doesn't prevent you from being fired. According to the NLRB, both parties have 5 business days to file challenges to the election. The union will then work to establish representation, likely through UAW Local 42, which was created during the 2014 organising attempt. Once the results are certified, Volkswagen is legally obligated to bargain in good faith for a contract. In other words, all these, whatever the salaries these workers are making, whatever agreements they have, those will be nullified and new agreements will be signed. Thane told Automotive News that the union would start to work on securing a contract immediately. We focus so much on the election, but the election's just the first step, he said. We've seen it over and over in this country where workers vote to organise and form a union and then spend years trying to get a first contract, and the companies just delay and draw it out. The UAW in 2015 organised a subset of skilled trades workers at the Chattanooga plant, but Volkswagen contested the results and refused to bargain. We're going to push immediately to get a first contract, and I'm guessing that if the Volkswagen Group don't agree to a contract which the union and their workers like, then they'll probably do what they did recently, which is strike. So Volkswagen probably won't have much choice other than to sign an agreement. Chattanooga was the only Volkswagen plant worldwide without some form of worker representation. And I don't know if you believe that, because Volkswagen Group does have, it does produce around 50% of its cars worldwide in China. So, is there unions in China that are representing Volkswagen workers there? Maybe, but I can't see that being a reason that you wouldn't get fired or, that you'd be able to negotiate. I don't think in China that's likely to help very much. Anyway, half of the automaker's global supervisory board is made up of labor representatives. Production at the Chattanooga plant in Tennessee actually began in 2011. Chattanooga workers had their first formal meeting with the UAW in September of that year. So this has been an ongoing process. It's taken 13 years for the union to crack Volkswagen, but now they've done it. I think they believe this is the beginning of lots of new contracts with automakers in North America. In particular, they're trying very hard to unionize at Tesla. Now, I don't think that's going to work, but it definitely could work at some other automakers, even Toyota, possibly. What are your thoughts? Is this a good move for Volkswagen? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.